think of Sri Ramakrishna and pray for the well-being of the whole humanity. Shanti 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 Hari Om Tat Sat. Om Stapakaya cha dharmasya sarvadharma swarupine Stapakaya cha dharmasya sarvadharma swarupine Avatar Varishtaya Ramakrishnaya te namah Asato ma sadgamaya Tamaso ma jyotirgamaya Mrityor ma mritangamaya Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Let us bow down to Sri Ramakrishna, the embodiment of all religions, the Supreme God incarnate. Let us pray to Him to lead us from the unreal to the real, to lead us from the darkness of ignorance to the light of knowledge, to lead us from death to immortality. We have been studying the topic, the challenge of karma. As soon as we are born in this world, we start our karma. That is, the activity is started as soon as we are born in this world. The world is always full of activity in some form or other. Everyone is acting. Human beings are acting, plants are acting, animals are acting, birds are acting, even inanimate objects are also acting in a way. That means the whole creation is full of activity, humming with activity. So it is quite active. The creation is alive. You become aware of it on account of its intense activity. Lord Krishna himself has said in the Gita that I will not stop even for a moment without doing any work. So that means we are in the hub of activity. But then how you conduct yourself, how you transform karma into transforming yourself spiritual way. Either karma can bind you more and more, can give you suffering, misery, pain, all such things. But karma can also release you from all these negative reactions. So that means it depends upon how you monitor your activities, how you perform activities, and with what attitude you do the activities. All these factors are very essential. It all depends upon, so to say, about your real aspiration in life. Accordingly, your activity gets adjusted. Accordingly, you will be able to face the challenges and encounter karma. So, as I said earlier, as soon as we are born in this world, we are engaged in tremendous activity. Man's whole life is indeed ceaseless action. He ceases to do action when he is dead, not till then. Even in the sleep, he is doing some action. What is that? His senses are active. He is having dreams. He is having all sorts of experiences in the dream state. Even in sleep, he is active. All his sense organs are functioning. He is breathing, inhaling, exhaling. So, ceaseless action, tiresome, but unavoidable. Unavoidable. You must be intelligent enough to conduct yourself. There lies your way of getting the things done according to what you want. How true it is, Sri Ramakrishna has said in the Gospel a story about a farmer. He was a very good person. He had only one son. That too, he got the son in his advanced age. So naturally, he was so much attached to the child. It's very natural. And he was going to the farm to work there because that was his profession. He had a field, farm field, he would go and irrigate. So one day he was working in the field, totally concentrating upon his work. Then immediately he got an information that his son had fallen sick and that the boy was in a dangerous period. That means he was in the point of death. When he got that information, the farmer went back home, but by the time he reached the home, the boy had already died. It was a terrible situation. But it was not in his hands why it happened, how it ended up. Everything going on as it should go. He has no hand in it. He can't do anything to undo the things that are to go in a particular way. Well, of course, he analyzed the situation and maintained his calm posture. He did not collapse because he lost his son. Otherwise, it would have been another great tragedy. Poor that lady should have to work very hard without anybody to take care of her if the husband had collapsed. But fortunately for her, she had a very good husband who was greatly spiritually oriented. So, but as a mother, she felt very sad and she began to cry. The more she remembered the boy, the more she began to cry. She could not control. She was in terrible anguish. It's all natural, very natural. Her eyes had become blood red, full of grief, full of emotion, totally disoriented mind. Almost at the point of becoming mad. She was at that terrible situation. She couldn't control herself. She could not bear the loss of her only child. And she was more shocked to see the attitude of her husband. What? Our only son had died and this father is not shedding even a drop of tear. But the farmer consoled her and said, well, do you know why I am not crying? Hear me attentively. Last night I had a dream. So I was just very robust, moving person, and all the people were giving respect to me. I had become their king. So it was a great joy for me in that state. And I had 7 princes. All these princes were good looking and they were all virtuous, well based in character. They grew up in stature and they acquired wisdom and knowledge in various arts. I was at the state of maximum happiness. Just at that point I suddenly woke up. Then I realized it was a dream. Well, now I have been wondering whether I should weep for those 7 children or this one boy. To the Jnani, the waking state is no more real than the dream state. And this particular farmer was a Jnani, man of wisdom. Because he had that wisdom, he could bear the shock. He could bear that shock and he could encounter that karma. The point is, one cannot escape karma. Gahana karmano gatihi. The path of karma is mysterious. So, as I said earlier, there is karma in all stages. In whatever state you are in some way or other engaged yourself in karma. So, we see that activity in the animals, birds, insects, plants, and in all the created things we see some kind of activity. Even the non-living entities, mountains, oceans, stars, planets, even there is tremendous activity. The sun, which is responsible for all life, how he is continuously active by spending itself, how he is radiating his energy. The sun is constantly radiating the energy. 24 hours. There is no rest for the sun. It may be night here, but it is daytime in the east. When it is night there, it is daytime here. That is where is rest for sun. He is continuously giving out energy, giving out. That is, he is sacrificing himself for the welfare of the creation. The best example is sun. Totally selfless. Giving out. It is because of sun's energy we are all acting and jumping and playing and doing things. So, in the vast process of nature, animate and inanimate, there is karma. Karma, which Lord Krishna puts it as yajna. Yajna means sacrifice. And the higher meaning of karma means sacrifice. What propels karma? This ceaseless chain of action. It is very interesting to know. And it has been diagnosed very clearly. Very clear. What propels karma? It is desire. Desire. We have got Upanishads which deal with wisdom. This way, those who come to Vedanta, we always tell them, please read Upanishads. The kernel of knowledge you have in the Upanishads. It is said there, Sadeva somyedamagra asidekam advitiyam. The meaning is, in the beginning, before the creation, what was there? Existence alone. One only without a second. And some people say, even that existence, before that existence, it was in a state of non-existent state. That is to say, avyakta, unmanifested state. But it became manifested. When it manifested, it became one only without a second. Then what happens? The Upanishad again tells, Tadaikshata pahusyam prajaye yeti. The creation began. How? From the desire of God. The one without a second, to be many. So that's what we call Parabrahman, the divine being. Before the manifested state is called Brahman. When he manifested himself, he desired that he should be many. So one became many. So one projecting in infinite ways. So the desire was there originally. It's not created by man. But we have become victims of desire. That's the point we should know. And the same desire can release you from suffering and misery. So there is a difference between the desire of God and the desire of man. God instigates karma, manifested in the threefold processes of creation, preservation, and dissolution. That is his way of activity. This creation, preservation, and dissolution going on ceaselessly. Do you know how? If you try to understand this, every day how many beings are being born? Every day how many beings are being nurtured? And every day how many beings are dying? So that is the act of creation, preservation and dissolution is going on ceaselessly. Amidst all these activities, God is above this show, ever unaffected. Ever unaffected. Lord Krishna says in the Gita, Padma Patra Mivam Bhasa, like a lotus leaf in the water. Though a lotus leaf remains in water, it is practically untouched by the water. When it is taken out of the water, no water clings to it. That's the way how God does action. It does things, but is not affected by it. The opposite is our way. We do things and get affected. So, coming to the human level, we see that man wants certain things to emerge and grow. In the case of a child, its actions are motivated by unconscious desires. It wants to play, it wants toys, it wants this. It shows inclination to things. So, desire is manifested in so many ways in the child. But as a child grows, conscious desires come in and form a part of its mind. If the endless desires are left to themselves, life will be very complicated. So, there is a necessity of directing and shaping our desires. Herein comes the importance of education. You have to learn. It's very important. Don't keep yourself in a state of ignorance. It is terribly dangerous to be ignorant. Always try to know the things. Open up your intellect. Become more and more sharpened. That's the way how you should use your buddhi. Unless you develop your intellect, you can't enjoy the glory of God. So we begin to teach the child. We see parents how they guide the child every moment. Do this way, don't jump like this, don't go there, and so on. That means we direct our desires, we train our desires. Otherwise, the mind of man becomes a jumble. That means you need to train yourself, you need to discipline yourself. You need to be systematic in your activities. However, the mind continuously brings desires. Why does man involve himself with endless desires? Why is not he satisfied even though he knows that maybe 1% of his desires can be fulfilled? He knows all the desires cannot be fulfilled, but still he keeps entertaining the desires. Answer to this question, Vedanta tells that man's true nature is a total reality, an all-comprehensive reality. That is why in his very nature he cannot remain satisfied with little. He more and more wants totality, the totality of knowledge, the totality of wealth, the totality of health, the totality of happiness. So unconsciously he craves that totality. Vedanta says, Vedanta means the teaching of the Upanishads which I referred just in the beginning. Upanishads are the text of the wisdom. They are meant as food for your intellect. You must read Upanishads to keep your intellect properly unfolded. So, Vedanta says, when you consciously realize this meaning of desire, you have come to a true spiritual life. You know that dissatisfaction of desires cannot be accomplished effectively by pursuing desires in a piecemeal, fragmented and dispersed way. You have to ask and understand what the totality is. That totality is God or one's true self. One's true self. So desires have got a purpose. Everything has got a purpose. Everything has got a purpose. Man's desires show that man seeks God all the time, but he does not know it. Really speaking, it is the desire for God that impels man to seek what is not God. It is a self-contradiction, and that's why it is called Maya, that which cannot be explained even though we see it. The total fulfillment of desires is possible when you have reached God, when you have understood your own spiritual nature. Then only you get perfect satisfaction. When you have touched your divine nature, you don't ask little things, just as a multi-millionaire doesn't run it for a few coins. But we can't all of a sudden understand that impulse of God in us. We have to encounter karma as best as we can. Through karma we have to go. You can't avoid the path of karma. Through karma you have to go to your own true nature. When you are born as a man, you can't be free from desires. As I said earlier, everyone is born with desire. It is desire that pushes you to take birth. Punarapi jananam, punarapi maranam. Again and again taking birth, again and again dying. Die to be born. Being born to die again. Goes on. You can't simply say that you don't want this or that. You cannot. You have to grow, and that growing process is important. The question then becomes how we can encounter karma in such a way that we become free of it. It is just like Sri Ramakrishna gives his example. In order to remove one thorn, you use another thorn to remove one thorn. Same way, through karma, you have to get rid of karma. That's the point. Let us not think either that we face only the desires of this lifetime. According to our Hindu tradition, man is a traveler. From life to life, he is traveling. Life to life. In each life, what does he do? He creates numerous desires. And the actions performed as a result of these desires leave what is called a reaction, a fruit. Briefly speaking, it is said that good actions leaves good reactions which will bring happiness. Bad actions leave negative reactions which will cause suffering. All the time, then, we are carrying the heavy burden of our stored karma from past and present. We are loaded. We are loaded with the weight of this karma. Where is the escape from the vicious circle? It's a terrible problem. It is terrible when you become aware of it. For most of us, the pattern of life remains on the surface. Sometimes we suffer, sometimes achieve success, sometimes we are frustrated, sometimes we laugh, sometimes we cry. But for some of us, deeper questions come. What is the meaning of this traveling from life to life? The great spiritual masters tell us that really speaking, there is no meaning in this. Only if you try to understand that there is something above the traveling, can you stop this meaningless encounter with karma. Spiritual knowledge, the discovery of God, the discovery of your own spiritual nature, these are the meaningful objectives about this endless traveling. When we seek the understanding of these spiritual goals, we face and encounter karma in a different way. Any karma is motivated by a desire and is directed to an objective. The spiritual seeker's karma springs from the desire to know God, and what he wants to attain is God. So all his activities are meant for realizing this objective, to see God. Encountering karma in a spiritual way does not mean running away from life, but rather becoming more and more conscious of our spiritual destiny. If we can experience God, then we rise to another level where there is real peace, because God is above this so-called life bound by the laws of time, space and causation. Therefore, for a spiritual person, encountering karma becomes the way of transcending karma. Now there are three ways to encounter karma fruitfully. The first way, Lord Krishna says, is to do whatever you do with a spirit of detachment. You are born with desires, but you now curtail them because you are a seeker of freedom. You think deeply and discard some of the desires which you don't want. Why should you want to bother unnecessarily with so many things? So you just remove desires. You just organize the things. Whatever you do, you will do with great responsibility and care, but in simple language, you will not be attached to the fruits of action. If we look into ourselves, we shall see that whenever we do something, we spend more energy on thinking of the fruits than doing what is necessary for performing that action. We create dreams. I am doing this, it will bring this. And yet there is no certainty of the dreams becoming true. The spiritual attitude is, a duty has come, I shall do it the way it has to be done. But I shall not dream about it. When it is done, and I shall take up another duty. In this way, the mind undergoes a great training. It is through this training we grow calm. The restlessness of our mind is not really due to the action, but to pondering the results of the action. If we can stop that, we become more and more ready for spiritual insight. The first insight that will come to us, if we can encounter karma in this spirit of detachment, will be a sense of calmness. We shall begin to feel tangibly that we are doing all these things, but in the background of our mind, there is freedom and peace. There is one way, a way for a person who at this stage may not even believe in God. The second way is when you have faith in God. Lord Krishna has said three ways, and I shall continue the same topic next Tuesday. Page 608. One must practice intense spiritual discipline. Can one obtain the vision of God all of a sudden, without any preparation? A man asked me, Sri Ramakrishna said, why don't I see God? I said to him, as the idea came to my mind, you want to catch a big fish. First make arrangements for it. Throw spiced bait into the water. Get a line and a rod. At the smell of the bait, the fish will come from the deep water. By the movement of the water, you will know that a big fish has come. You want to eat butter, but will you achieve by simply repeating that there is butter in milk? You have to work hard for it. Only thus can you separate butter from milk. Can one see God by merely repeating God exists? One needs sadhana. The Divine Mother herself practiced austere sadhana to set an example for mankind. Shri Krishna, who is none other than the ultimate Brahman, also practiced sadhana to set an example to others. Shri Krishna is the Purush, and Radha the Prakriti, the Chit Shakti, the Adya Shakti. Radha is the Prakriti. The embodiment of the three gunas, Sattva, Rajas and Tamas, are in her. As you remove the layers of an onion, you will see tints of both black and red, then only red, and last of all only white. The Vaishnava scriptures speak of Kam Radha, Prem Radha, and Nitya Radha. Chandravali is Kam Radha, and Srimati is Prem Radha. Nanda saw Nitya Radha holding Gopala in her arms. The Brahman of Vedanta and the Chit Shakti are identical like water and its wetness. The moment you think of water, you must also think of its wetness. And the moment you think of water's wetness, you must also think of water. Or it is like the snake and its wriggling motion. The moment you think of the snake, you must also think of its wriggling motion. And the moment you think of the snake's wriggling motion, you must also think of the snake. When do I call the ultimate reality by the name of Brahman? When it is actionless or unattached to action. When a man puts on a cloth, he remains the same man as when he was naked. He was naked, now he is clothed. He may be naked again. There is poison in the snake, but it does not harm the snake. It is poison to him who is bitten by the snake. Brahman itself is unattached. We shall stop here. What is important is that be robust in doing activities, but be definite about your attitude. If you have worldly attitude, it will have one effect. If you have spiritual attitude, it will have another effect. So, you have to first of all determine with what attitude you are doing the things. That determines your course of life. That determines your destiny. That determines your path. That determines everything about you. So, you have to set yourself in spiritual attitude. Then whatever you do, you will not be affected in a negative way. On the other hand, through action you become strong, you become vigorous, you become determined, you become strong-willed. Finally you will reach God. What is tapas means? It is nothing but intense activity of the mind. Mind is intensely active in thinking about God. Any question to ask? No, I will explain next Tuesday. Just today I have taken only one aspect of karma. It needs more explanation, and there are many ways of doing the actions. Even though you do the action, you may not be affected by the action. That is called akarmani karma. Because when you are doing the action with a detached spirit, that means you are not aspiring for the results for your own benefit, then that action is considered to be supreme. It helps you in your spiritual unfoldment, and it doesn't bind you. So though you are acting in a way, you are not acting in the way how the worldly man acts. Anyway, these things need to be explained very clearly. Verse is very tricky. That one we shall stop. Chant the name of the Lord and His glory unceasingly, that the mirror of the heart may be wiped clean, and quench that mighty forest fire, worldly lust raging furiously within. O name, stream down in moonlight on the lotus heart, opening its curve to knowledge of thyself. O self, drown deep in the waves of His bliss, tasting His nectar at every step, bathing in His name, that balm for weary souls. Various are thy names, O Lord. In each and every name thy power resides. No times are set, no rites are needful for chanting of thy name. So vast is thy mercy, how huge then is my wretchedness, who find in this empty life and heart no devotion to thy name. O my mind, be humbler than a blade of grass. Be patient and forbearing like a tree. Take no honor to thyself, give honor to all. Chant unceasingly the name of the Lord. O Lord and soul of the universe, mine is no prayer for wealth or retinue, the playthings of lust or the toys of fame. As many times as I may be reborn, grant me, O Lord, a steadfast love for Thee. A drowning man in this world's fearful ocean is Thy servant, O sweet one. In Thy mercy, consider him as dust beneath Thy feet. Ah, how I long for the day when an instant's separation from Thee, O Lord, will be as 1,000 years, when my heart burns away with its desire, and the world without Thee is a heartless void. Prostrate at Thy feet let me be, in unwavering devotion, neither imploring the embrace of Thine arms, nor bewailing the withdrawal of Thy presence, though it tears my soul asunder. O Thou who stealest the hearts of Thy devotees, do with me what Thou wilt, for Thou art my heart's beloved, Thou and Thou alone. O Lord, lead us from the unreal to the real. Lead us from darkness to light, and lead us from death to immortality. May all be free from dangers. May all realize what is good. May all be actuated by noble thoughts. May all rejoice everywhere. May all be happy. May all be free from disease. May all realize what is good. May none be subject to misery. May the wicked become virtuous. May the virtuous attain tranquility. May the tranquil be free from bonds. May the freed make others free. May good betide all people. May the sovereign righteously rule the earth. May all beings ever attain what is good. May the worlds be prosperous and happy. May the clouds pour rain in time. May the earth be blessed with crops. May all countries be freed from calamity. May holy men live without fear. May the Lord, the destroyer of sins, the presiding deity of all sacred works, be satisfied. For He being pleased, the whole universe becomes pleased. He being satisfied, the whole universe feels satisfied.